Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second part of the presentation of my book, Interconnectedness of Life. The part one of the presentation is the scientific revelation of the interconnectedness of life. This part two is the man's mystical perception of the system. For thousands of years, man has perceived the interconnectedness of life and how vast it is. He perceived the principles of the system and the significance in his existence and well-being. This led to his development of his culture and the rituals, which shaped his behavior and his attitude to nature, so that he lived in harmony with nature, thereby preserving the web of life. Without any scientific tool, the ancient Greek people became aware of the interconnectedness of life through their goddess Gaia. This is seen in the Gaia theory. The theory proposes that organisms interact with their inorganic surroundings on Earth to form a synergistic, self-regulating, complex system that helps to maintain and perpetuate the conditions for life on the planet. The Buddhists perceived the interconnectedness of life and made it a part of their religious teaching. They teach that we are connected and related not just to those physically close to us, but also to every living being. And through the interrelationship, our existence becomes meaningful. They emphasize the importance of the interrelationship in our well-being, and they indicate that love is a facilitator of the interrelationship. The importance of love for our well-being in the interrelationship can be deduced from the words of wisdom by a Buddhist philosopher, Daisaku Ikeda. He stated that when we turn a blind eye to the suffering of others, we grow numb to something important in ourselves and succumb eventually to spiritual paralysis. The interconnectedness of life was perceived as a divine order and poetically expressed in the Apocrypha, the Bible of Jerusalem, Ecclesiasticus chapter 42, under the heading, The Glory of God in Nature. The expression goes as this: He has imposed an order on the magnificent works of his wisdom. How desirable are all his works, how dazzling to the eye. They all live and last forever. Whatever the circumstance, all obey him. Then it comes here. All things go in pairs by opposites, and he has made nothing defective. The one consolidates the excellence of the other. Who could ever be sated with gazing at his glory? The purpose of the interconnectedness of life and the importance of our attributes in it were fully perceived by St. Paul, one of the most important figures in the apostolic age. According to his teaching in the 1 Corinthians chapter 12 in the Holy Bible, interconnectedness of life is not limited to our physical interrelationship. It extends to our spiritual interrelationship. As our physical interrelationship requires the use of our physical attributes, so does our spiritual interrelationship require the use of our spiritual attributes. According to St. Paul, the spiritual attributes include the following: the gift of healing, gift of knowledge, gift of wisdom, gift of prophecy, gift of miraculous power. Paul said that these gifts are distributed in such a way that one person should not have all of them. he should only have one, and another person should have the other. These are distributed in this way so that in the interrelationship, the gift one has, he needs to use it to support the others who lack it. And the gifts which he lacks, the others who have them will use them to support him. In this way, they live in an interdependent manner in which the well-being of one depends on the well-being of the other. Paul concluded that through this setup, we will be able to effectively achieve our spiritual goal. He emphasized that love is the facilitator of the functions of the gifts, and without it, the gifts will not function and therefore would be useless. He also added that in the system, the existence of the weak ones, or those who seem to have none of the gifts, is indispensable. He said that the strong ones, or those with the higher gifts, we are given those gifts so that they would offer more support to the seemingly weak ones. The analogy of this can be seen in the natural world. The forest ecosystem is a typical example of the system of interconnectedness of life. In the forest are strong trees that grow standing firmly on their feet. In the forest are also weak plants, the climbers, such as the lianas that cannot stand on their feet. So they climb on the trees for support, and the trees accept them and they support them. But through climbing on the trees, the climbers form a network of bridges that is a link to different trees. It is the network of bridges that contributes to ensuring the continuity of the balance of population of life forms. It is through the bridges that animals, such as the monkeys that live on trees, move from tree to tree to get their food. Without the bridges, the animals would only have to climb from one tree down to the ground before climbing up the next tree. This would have exposed them more to predators on the ground, leading to a reduction of their population below the required level in the system. The consequence would be an upset of the population balance, leading to grave consequences. In addition to the formation of the bridges, the climbing plants provide abundant fruits, leaves, and the flowers as important food resources for the forest animals. The abundant flowers also make the climbers an important component of pollination communities. An example of the fruits which the climbers, such as the lianas, produce is the one which monkeys as well as man enjoy eating. The fruit can be found in the rainforests in the areas such as the southeast of Nigeria. The local name of the fruit in the southeast is Oto, spelling U-T-U. In the forest are also epiphytes, the other seemingly weak plants that harmlessly grow on trees, using the trees for support. The epiphytes are known as another important provider of foods for many of the organisms in the rainforest, and they are home for many arthropods. In fact, without the epiphytes, the forest would not be able to support the diverse amount of plant and animal life. These are the evidence that existence of the seemingly weak ones in the web of life is indispensable. The parable of the Good Samaritan shows that it is through our helping each other in the interconnectedness of life that we are able to achieve spiritual success and gain eternal life. The parable is in the Holy Bible, St. Luke, chapter 10, verse 25 to 37. It was told by Jesus Christ, the central figure in the Christianity. The parable is about a man whom robbers wounded and left him half dead. Experts in religious law, including a priest, saw the wounded man and they turned a blind eye to the man's suffering. But a Samaritan, who was perceived as ineffective in religious observance, saw the suffering man. He took pity on him. He treated him as one of the diverse mankind with whom he was bonded as brothers in the web of life. He rescued and revived him. The conclusion is that the Samaritan qualified to gain eternal life as a result of his action, and the religious experts, despite their religious rituals, failed to gain the eternal life. What are the lessons learned and insight gained from all this? First, from this, it has become obvious that to ensure our absolute physical and spiritual well-being and achieve fulfilling earthly and eternal success, we need to relate with one another, making use of our attributes according to the principles of interconnectedness of life. A deviation from this leads to so many problems, which include the spiritual problems and the social isolation. The social isolation is known to give rise to numerous social and health problems. The details of the social and health problems are in the book. This fact is in agreement with the common saying, man is by nature a social animal. He who delights in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. We are neither wild beasts nor gods. We are human beings whose well-being depends on his relating to one another. Secondly, just as our interrelationship with our fellow man improves our well-being, our interrelationship with other life forms ensures our existence and it promotes our well-being. For our existence, we receive glucose and oxygen, the source of our energy, from plants, just as other animals do. We also get improvement of our well-being and the mood by staying close to plants. Research shows that patients staying in rooms with plants experience a reduction of their anxiety and are more likely to recover quicker than those without plants around them. So, protection and conservation of plants and the other life forms mean ensuring our existence and well-being. Thirdly, through the interrelationship, we achieve more success than we would do if we were separated from each other. This is because in the interrelationship, our different attributes support and strengthen each other to function better. The evidence can be seen in a project where, with my musical skills, I worked with people with non-musical skills, and our different skills enhanced each other, enabling us to achieve more success than we did when we were separated from each other. The success included the following: health improvement, increase of self-confidence, improvement of educational, social, creative, and artistic skills, and the reduction of social isolation. The details of the achievements and how we made them are in the book. So, what makes interconnectedness of life a success are the different attributes in it, where a function which one attribute is not able to carry out, the others are able to carry it out. If all the attributes in it are the same, the system would be a failure. Equally, if all of them are different from each other, but they don't interrelate, the system would also be a failure. So from this, it is clear that interconnectedness of life is a system, a unitary body upon which our existence, well-being, and success depend. We and other life forms are constituent parts of the body, and the more we are different from each other and interrelate, the better and sustainable is the body. Therefore, to make our society a lasting, cohesive, progressive, and successful one, we need to model it on the interconnectedness of life, acknowledging differences among us as an asset, accepting ethnic and cultural diversity, and interrelating. I hope you enjoy the presentation. This presentation is just an overview of the book, Interconnectedness of Life. More details and additional information are in the book. To get a copy of the book in any format, visit my website, www.mosaicmusic.co.uk. That is www.mosaicmusic.co.uk. Also, the ebook format of the book is in the Amazon, and you can get this by visiting the Amazon website. To get a DVD of this presentation or to get a copy in PDF, visit my website. I released my music, which was inspired by my insight into the interconnectedness of life. The name of the music is Give Them What They Need. That is, give all the creation what they need. And if you do, you will gain your own chance to live. You can get a CD of the music and a CD of my other music by visiting my website. Some of the music is in the YouTube. Thanks for your attention, and God bless.